Hello, friends, and happy Wednesday to you. Wow, it's been a fast week, and welcome to In the Loop with Winnie and Greg. I am Winnie's son. You're going to meet Greg in just a second, but we are so excited to be back with you. You know, we're streaming on I think, over a dozen different social media platforms. So if you're joining us live, definitely don't be shy. Say hello, tweet us, post us, put a message in the chat here. Let us know how your day's going, how your week's going, because we love to hear from you. For those of you who are new to the show, hello, I'm Winnie's son, longtime financial pro, CNBC council member, Forbes contributor, and host of Also Level Up, which can be found on NASDAQ on a few different platforms. But of course, you know what makes Wednesday special is when we get together. And of course, let's welcome Greg to the show. Hey, Greg.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Hi, Winnie. And thanks to everybody for joining us. Like you said, this is the biggest part of it, is just getting everybody together and talking and going over all the, fun things that we're going to talk about here later on, and just updating news and seeing your comments. That's what I always love to do. In case you don't know, I'm Greg Nibbler, longtime tech reporter covering all kinds of things. I've got some stuff that's kind of geared more toward good weather tech. I'll say that, kind of like a road trip kind of theme that's going on a little bit later on. So for a couple of topics. So thinking about it, just the way the weather's been probably a lot of places, maybe not in Southern California, although even you, I think, got some snow, some blizzards. So, but thinking about some nicer spring kind of topics. So we have that coming up here in just a little bit. But the big thing is, want to see your comments, what you think, how you're doing, what's going on, wherever you're watching. I know we're on a whole bunch of different platforms right now. So just appreciate everybody tuning in and just being here. This is, like you said, Winnie, this is what makes it so awesome.
It does make it awesome, Greg. You're absolutely right. And a big welcome to Kathleen on LinkedIn Live. Kathleen, it's great to welcome you to the show. Thanks so much for being here. And of course, the one and only Sadiq is joining us on YouTube Sadiq. Live. Sadiq, yeah, if you weren't here, we would worry. So thank you so much for being on the show with us. I guess, Greg, let's kick it off on the serious stuff, and I'm going to have some fun. And I will say, Greg, I can't wait to hear about your road trip information, because I'm actually hoping to do a road trip this weekend. So I'm definitely taking notes on this one.
Okay.
And of course, I'm just going to say that we got to talk about Elon later. So we're going to talk about him as well. Okay. We're going to have some fun there. But thank you. Welcome, everybody to the show. Let's talk about how the market closed. Now, it is better news than yesterday. I'll tell you that much. But unfortunately, it's kind of a mixed day. The Dow was down, closed down 58 points. The NASDAQ up 45, and the S&P 500 up 5 as well. So we'll take the positive for what we can get. As you know, this is sort of the second day of the congressional testimony from the one and only Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. So once again, a mixed day. Yesterday, not so great news. We're expecting a higher rate hike in this month. If you didn't see that news coming out yesterday, today, talking about more data coming out about jobs. The big story that we're also hearing right now is that, of course, continued layoffs. So 2023 is almost like the year of layoffs, because if you didn't know already, between January 1st of this year and today, we are almost like at the same level of layoffs for all of 2022. So many companies doing layoffs, and a lot of them coming from very large companies, naming some of the big tech heavy hitters. So it used to be, layoffs from some of the smaller companies, or some companies that maybe you weren't surprised by, but now we're seeing this almost across the board. It almost doesn't matter who you are. Even if you're like the most popular company in town, you're actually announcing layoffs. So we're seeing a lot of that happen, I guess, this week. And one thing, Greg, that I feel like we need to talk about, and I know we haven't talked about him in probably in a few weeks, but we got to talk about Kanye West. Okay, this actually hit financial news, Greg. Kanye West, Adidas, and the Kanye effect. Now, many of you know, Greg, I guess Kanye had a very specific style of shoe. The Yeezy shoe did really, really well for Adidas. Do you remember this?
Yes. Yeah. 100%. yeah, his shoe, and then the whole fallout from the shoe, and him showing up at the Adidas headquarters or no, Skechers headquarters or something like that. Yeah. That was
Yes.
just a crazy train of stuff.
It was crazy. I remember we're talking about this on the show, and I want to say a big welcome, of course, Joshua. CrossX Fighter is on YouTube Live. Joshua, just get a wind of this. Okay, so Adidas, huge company. I know many of us probably own Adidas tennis shoes or Adidas apparel. Obviously, a company that's been around forever, probably even before Kanye was alive. Well, get this. Adidas is now warning that they actually could report its first big potential loss in 31 years. The first
Wow.
single operating loss, and mainly because of a $527 million hit due to unsold Yeezy apparel and stock, like shoe stock, not like stock, but this is so crazy. So
He
Adidas,
was doing that much in sales. Like there was that much involved.
yeah.
That's insane.
But that also gives you the flip side of just how powerful, I guess, Kanye West's designs
Yeah.
were. But Adidas, being the German sportswear maker, as you know, they had a 9-year partnership with Yeezy designer Kanye West. This was, I think, last October. Greg and I were talking about this on the show because Kanye West made some really, let's just admit it, really not too intelligent comments, right?
Yep.
Anti-Semitic comments and just really, really derogatory. And I think Adidas faced a lot of pressure. And so they had to discontinue that partnership. And so its annual revenue has plunged by like $1.27 billion this
Wow.
year as a result of that split. Talk
That's
about pressure.
Yeah, I did not realize how much of a force he was in that. I kind of thought that was just maybe a smaller part of, when I think of Adidas, I think of, Damian Lillard and sponsorships and athletes, but I didn't realize Kanye West had that much sway over that. That's insane.
That's insane. So
Yeah.
obviously he had a great deal going, right? He had a great
Yeah.
contract. Whoever
Yeah.
negotiated the
He
contract
must
did a
have.
great job. And I guess they front loaded a lot of money. They obviously had a lot of now high-end sneakers and clothing that I guess they can't sell. And there's been talk, I've been seeing some articles about saying that Adidas might try to change the design ever so slightly or the branding on it so they can at least get those sales out. But yeah, they're taking a big hit. So this is a big deal for Adidas. And I just thought I would bring this up because I do think that, like Greg said, you and I, we didn't recognize how big of impact this was. Talk about brands being very sort of nervous about who they align with, which brands, which spokespeople, right? If you make the wrong decision and your spokesperson says something really derogatory or unexpected, that could negatively impact sales in the realm of billions of dollars. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, you look at like Kyrie Irving with Nike and them splitting, and even John Morant right now. Like, there's just so much that goes into that.
It's risky.
But yeah, all with one person. I mean, you think about, even just one tweet could
One
cause
tweet.
that much,
I know. And then you want to work with spokespeople like you, Greg, right? Like that they're professional, they know their stuff, and they're not going to say something that's going to embarrass the company. But then
Right.
you're not controversial enough, right? So it's like playing with a knife. Like
Yeah.
Kanye West was in the news all the time because he was kind of crazy, but he was also seen as hip hop and a genius. But then that comes with risk. So it's sort of like it's a really interesting time in influencer marketing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I got two more things to share with you that I would love to
Right.
get your impact on. And this is, of course, today we did this huge tweet chat on the topic of artificial intelligence, which I know, Greg, is really more your expertise. But one thing that we were seeing today that was talking about is, I guess we know, like ChatGPT and so many of these tools, they're now talking about that Microsoft and Salesforce have now announced new products in the AI space that are going to have the ability to literally just generate emails with a little bit of personalization, and that they said that this technology could potentially add millions in annual revenue to these companies. That's crazy. What do you think, Greg?
Yeah. I mean, I want to see how it's being implemented because yes, there may be that potential revenue, but what's that going to do to our inboxes? Is this also going to be, just constantly spammed with these fake AI emails. But yeah, I mean, certainly everybody's trying to figure out how to incorporate AI more and more into everything. So it makes sense that it's going to look to some of these enterprise solutions, and emails and things like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I want to see how it works out for regular people as the consumer on that end of things, because
Yeah.
it may drive more revenue in, and depending on how it's used, perhaps that could be a really smart way. Maybe it'll cut down on spam, but I also could see people really abusing it as well,
Right.
and using that to send out, basically it's going to be the new version of spam. It could
A new
turn into
version of
that too.
spam.
Yeah.
Right, just too much, right? And so
Yeah.
that's the thing is that Greg and I were just talking before we get live here, is that I think we're gonna actually do a special AI episode of In the Loop soon. We don't know
Yeah.
yet when it's gonna be, so you don't have to tune in every episode, but we'll definitely keep you posted because this is a big topic. Just like Greg
Huge.
touches a lot about robotics, which is so critical, right? And we talk about business news, but I think we also want to delve in a little deeper on AI and share some of the things that we find along the way. And of course, we would love to hear your thoughts. We know Sadiq has shared us a lot of content through the years, Joshua as well. If you have, things and AI, certain tools that you've used that you liked, we like to
Right.
hear from you. And we're going to probably put some of that into our future show, right, Greg? I think I'm
Yeah.
excited about that show.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, just however, if maybe you've read something about how some people are implementing it, because that's the thing, it's changing so fast. I mean, it's just being pushed into everything, and it's impossible to follow all the different ways that it's being utilized. And I don't think people even know all the ways it can be utilized. That's the other part of it. So yeah, if you have some ideas, comments or something like that, please send those to us too. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that episode to kind of explore that and go a little deeper into it.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Okay, before I hand the reins over to you, Greg, like I hinted before, I want to talk about our Elon Musk diaries here, right? So Elon Musk, craziness. I'm so I'm just like in awe. And of course it shows him a business too. So I'm like, oh, I gotta talk to Greg about this. So the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has now opened officially an investigation into Elon Musk's Tesla because they received complaints that steering wheels detached from the Model Y while people were driving. I actually had to Google this a few times, Greg, because I couldn't believe it. Did you
That's
hear this?
also, I know I've said crazy a lot so far in this episode, but I mean, that is wild just to think that how that could even possibly happen.
So yeah, so this I guess this investigation is covering over 120,000 vehicles. 100,000. I don't know, Greg. I mean, what would you do if you were driving and then your steering wheel came up? I would have a panic attack.
Yeah. Yeah. Depends on where I'm at and when that happens too. I mean, if you're just, stuck in like grid traffic and you're not going anywhere, great. But if you're going on the freeway, I mean, I don't know.
What happens on the freeway? Like, what
Yeah.
do you do?
Yeah. I mean, maybe some of the self-driving mode can come
You're
in.
like,
Get it to get you off of the freeway. At least maybe you have that option. I mean, I don't know. That's that could have some huge implications right there.
yeah. So supposedly these two cars at this, I guess there was like,
how does it come off? How does that happen?
I don't know. So
I mean,
but for those of you who are driving Model Ys, you got to know what happened, right? So I guess in these instances, like what happened was these were very low mileage vehicles. So I guess really new cars, right? And I guess these vehicles were delivered to the owners missing this retaining bolt, which attaches the steering wheel to the steering column.
how does that happen?
How does that happen? I know this is where, you need a robot to make sure this stuff doesn't happen.
Just a
Yeah,
checklist,
so
steering wheel bolt, check.
yeah, so because of this, I guess this negatively impacted, investor confidence in the company. And so that's part of Elon Musk's diary. I'm sure that was kind of that was probably a bad day for Elon. But the other thing that Elon did, which was all his fault, if you didn't see this already, it was trending all over Twitter. So, Tesla CEO Elon Musk, of course, is also Twitter CEO Elon Musk. I guess he was on Twitter, and I read through some of this. It was actually kind of cringy. He was actually making fun of a Twitter employee who has a lifelong disability. And because the employee, I guess, he wasn't just a normal employee. He actually was a successful business owner, had a technology company which sold to Twitter during the pandemic, right? And then like now he was wondering whether or not he was still an employee at Twitter because I guess he lost access to his technology, like maybe he lost his email or Slack access. So I guess I think on Twitter he goes by, I think is it Hilly or something like that. But so his name is Harador. I can't pronounce his last name. The Thorol
Yeah.
Lesson or something. And I guess he was cut off from his computer. And did you read this, Greg? Because
Yeah.
you're grinning. You're like, you know what happened.
Yeah, I read through all of this, and cringe is the right word to use in that. I'm trying to pull it up now too, just to get his user handle. But yeah, it's just, if you haven't read through this, I highly suggest going through. I mean, there's a whole thread of it where you can read this guy talking about everything that he went through and what he was trying to find out. Basically, trying to find out whether he was fired or laid off or still employed, like what the deal was, because he couldn't get a hold of anybody in HR or Elon Musk outside of Twitter. And then just Elon's response to it. It's like, man, there is nobody running PR at that company. Nobody controlling the filter there, because the stuff he was saying, I mean, there's potential lawsuits in that. Yeah. From everything that I was reading, this were attorneys who were addressing it. Like, yeah, actually right here, this is this could be the basis for this kind of lawsuit. So it's just nuts.
I'm gonna send this over to Curtis on our team right now, because so what's interesting, Greg, I was doing a search while we were just talking about this. I don't even see Hallie's account up anymore, so I'm wondering if he got taken over. But here's the thing:
could be, and yeah, actually, I'm not seeing Elon's replies. I wonder if he deleted them.
So Hallie, well, one thing, right? Hallie has muscular dystrophy. So he's like wheelchair bound. And then he founded a digital branding company that was acquired by Twitter in 2021. And so he was honestly, he was very, very polite. He didn't use any swear words, very polite. And you know, some of it was kind of funny because he's clever, but talk about very professional, asking, am I still working on Twitter? So then Elon Musk literally made fun of him, poked fun of him, making comments saying like, I don't know if you're working, maybe you're not working. And like, even made a comment, I guess people are saying that, making comments of the fact that maybe he's using his disability as an excuse not to work.
Yeah.
It was really bad. It was quite bad. And then now,
no matter how you look at it, super inappropriate
super inappropriate by Hallie. And then I guess then supposedly Elon had a video call with Hallie and apologized to Hallie, and Elon said that Hallie might consider staying, but we haven't heard from Hallie. I doubt that Hallie would want to stay after all this mess.
Yeah, I didn't catch that last part. I didn't see that part. So he set a video call with him.
I guess so. And so, like, you know, since Elon's taken over Twitter, multiple rounds of layoffs, legal action by former employees who have alleged that Elon has broken severance promises and has discrimination, and even including actions against disabled employees. This just goes on and on. It's very unfortunate. But
every day, something else.
Every day. And I guess, I don't know if you experienced this, Greg. I think from our last show to today, there was, I guess, someone had made one slight change to the code and like Twitter went down.
Yeah.
And saying that Twitter code is just delicate that
that one person can take it down just by making a slight change to the code. Yeah, that's
yeah. So
it's a wild ride.
You know, it's Twitter Diaries. We gotta actually we don't do it every show, but sometimes we keep it up. It's almost like the Kardashian show of the financial industry is like Elon Musk right now. So
it is. Yeah, the Twitter Diaries themselves. It's crazy.
Yes, absolutely. And a big hello, of course. We see Brian Schumann joining us on LinkedIn Live. Hello, Brian.
Nice.
Very dear friend. Talk about one of the best human beings on earth. If you don't follow him, definitely follow Brian. A great human. But Greg, tell me, I want to hear what you have to share with us today.
All right. So I've got a couple of things. The first one, though, I brought up just because it was announced today, because I figured you, of all people, I wanted to get your opinion on this. This isn't like a groundbreaking tech news, but there's a new color of an iPhone. So this is what came out today. The new iPhone, bright yellow. So this is the new color that's been added in there. And I know you like like talking about what kind of colors, that everybody's got.
Looks
So
like a lemon.
yeah. So this is what they're doing. And there's a couple of things that people are kind of implying based on them showing this color. One of them being that they're trying to read between the lines that maybe this is an implication that there's going to be a spring event for Apple, which if it does happen, that's usually later March, April. Apple's real tight-lipped about that. And it's not every year that they have a new event that'll come out, where maybe they can show off the AR glasses or new laptops or whatever's going to happen. But they're saying that this could be a hint that that's going to happen. But regardless, yes, it's the new color. It's the new yellow color for the iPhone. Winnie, I have to get your thoughts on it.
It's so cute.
You like it?
It's so cute. It reminds me of an Easter peep, the little
It does.
The little peep chicken peeps. It's so cute. I love it. It's kind of lemony happy. I mean, I have realized that it doesn't really matter what color iPhone I get because I end up putting a big wallet case on it, so you can't even tell. But yeah, I mean, I love it. Yellow is really a happy color, and hey, I love the phone already, so I feel like any bit more of joy we can bring.
Yeah,
I'm definitely a go for that. Yeah.
I'm also with you though. No matter what color of phone I get, there's going to be a big case that has to go around it. So I'm jealous of the people who can have their nice shiny phone and not drop it.
Yes.
And they don't have to worry about a case. I don't understand that world for myself. So I have to have the industrial case on there, but
Yeah. And because I do points and miles, I got my credit cards on there. So what I've realized, Greg, what I'm going to do for the next round of getting, like, let's say I'm getting my next iPhone, I'm literally just going to get the size of power or memory, whatever that's called. And then I'm just going to go with whatever color is available just so I could get my phone. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do next time.
Just get it right away.
Yeah. Even if it's a funny color. Luckily, Apple doesn't really have some like really funky colors. But if it was a funky color, I'd probably be okay with it because I'm going to stick a big case on it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll never see it again for another 2 years or 3 years or whatever.
Yep. But that was the big thing from Apple today. Anytime that there's something Apple or iPhone, got to talk about it because it's going to be big news. But the read between the lines, everybody's trying to say that.
Well, read between the lines, Greg. I feel like read between the lines is like Greg read between the lines. Like when is Greg going to get his iPhone? That's how I'm reading between the Greg lines.
Not for another year because at least this contract, my Samsung contract's still going. We'll see. I'm slowly dabbling in the Apple world. I'm not to the iPhone level yet. Yellow's not enough to get me to switch over yet. I'll say that.
It's soon. I know. So that's the question. What would it take to get Greg to move over to iPhone?
I don't know right now what it would take.
It was $50.
Yeah. That is nice. If somebody, Apple wants to give me one to use, then okay, maybe we can talk about that. But all right, so that was the Apple thing. So maybe more coming here in the next few weeks. That's what we're kind of hoping for. We'll see something. So going from that though, I have a couple of topics here that I wanted to bring up just that just happen to fall into this kind of theme of the electric lifestyle. So using EVs, but battery packs and just looking into things like that. And since it's been, at least here in Portland, and I know for a lot of places, it's winter, it's been kind of dreary. So it makes me think of, I want to go camping, nice weather, go on road trips. So this all kind of fell in line with each other. So the first thing I have here is from a company called Anker, and it's Anker. You may have seen their products before. Usually they make a lot of like power packs or battery supplies. So you'll see a lot of that stuff. And with that, so this is something that they are showcasing. This is a new product, and it's a Kickstarter actually right now, but it's a cooler. That's an iceless cooler that you can take out and you'll have power for a whole bunch of things. So I'll walk through it. Like one, like I said, you don't need any ice. This thing will last, it's showing like 42 hours of battery life.
42 hours?
Yeah. And you can get it down. You can use up a little bit more of the power and keep it down to like -4 degrees. So you can actually get it down really low or keep it at regular refrigerator temperatures for 42 hours. That's what they're advertising with this. On top of that, you can add in solar panels. So I guess you can add in either their brand or other brands, and it has the connections for them. So if you're out camping or wherever you are, you can connect the solar panels on it and get even more juice out of this thing. So much so that you could charge your devices, you could run your speaker off of it, whatever else you're bringing out. You could run it all off of this thing. I love this idea. I've talked about it before. I did a segment yesterday and talking about just, I always forget ice for some reason, because that's like the last thing you buy when you're going out. And then I just forget to grab it. So this would be perfect for me for that. I love this thing. I think this is a great idea. You can also detach the battery, go charge it separately. So it's all very kind of modular in a lot of what you can do with it. And this is what they're putting up for Kickstarter. I believe the Kickstarter starts on March 23rd. And oh yeah, you can control it with your app. So you've got all kinds of different ways you can interact with this thing. The one
How much
thing,
is it?
that's the thing. They haven't really said the price yet. And a lot of people are estimating that's going to be like around $1,000 or so. That says, yeah, get additional ones valued up to $659. So that's if you sign up early. They're going to give you like a bunch of benefits on it, or some savings there. But yeah, 6-month extended warranty. Yeah, Chris is highlighting it all right there. Shipping priority, 15% off coupon. So you get a bunch of stuff. But yeah, I think it's going to be expensive. And one estimate that I saw was, yeah, around $1,000 is probably what they think this is going to be. So it's not a cheap cooler to add in. But I do like it.
I do love it. Yeah, it's gonna be pricey. I will say that, as you know, we have a van, and we have something like this that we plug that holds, like, gets really cold, and it's not built into the cooler, but it does keep things cool for a really, really long time, and it's designed for it. And we plug it into Go Zero, which receives electricity from solar panels that are on top of the van. So I think
you're ahead of the game.
But this is smaller, which I think is very clever. And it's all in one unit. The way we have, I don't know, Greg, if it's expensive, I would probably go the way that we have it, because then if your fridge dies or your battery dies or your it's easier to have them separated. But if you're short on space, this is the way to go. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, not for that price, but if they can get that down some, and it is a Kickstarter, so there's a possibility this might not be made, but I think coming from this company, I'm going to guess that it's going to happen. But yeah, I love that idea though, just of adding that in and incorporating more battery power into things, and and using the solar panels. So, you're ahead of the game with that. But for, like you said, if you have like a smaller space, this would be a good one to add in. So that was kind of the first one that I wanted to show. But then we have something else. So this actually just came out, I believe today or yesterday, kind of showcasing this. We've heard from this company before, but it's a company called Lightship, and they're advertising their essentially RV trailer, their trailer called the L1. And it's got some really neat things that it does. So the Lightship L1, so you can see it right there. The trailer itself is very much designed for electric power, for EV. And
so cool.
Yeah, so it also, so there it is, kind of in the what they call road mode, and then you go into camping mode, and the whole thing lifts up from, I believe it's 6'9" to about 10 feet tall. So you can do that. You park, boom, you get this thing lift up. You have these huge windows and views that go along with it. On top of that, talking about the electric side of things, so it does have solar panels on it, so it's getting a charge as well. But it also is self-powered. So if you're towing it, whatever vehicle you're towing it with, usually that would decrease either your range if it's an EV or your gas mileage, whatever it is. This thing is actually propelling itself as well. So they're saying it comes up to be a net zero. So it doesn't actually.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So it doesn't actually, cost any more, or you don't have to charge any more, whatever it is that you're hauling it with. That is really cool to me right there. And it's generating its own power as it's going. But yeah, taking a look at it, with all these other things that it can do, just a really cool product, I think. I think this would be fun to take out. And I'm not really a trailer person necessarily, but I think if you were going on like a nice long road trip and this didn't really cost you anything extra to tow this, that's pretty cool. That's a cool use of electric power. Right,
this is a super cool use of electric power. And I can see that, this seems like something like, if you get in on early, I bet you can make up the price pretty quickly. Because, nowadays people are doing those like really niche Airbnbs. You just have somewhere to park this thing and people will rent it.
There's a business idea right there.
right?
Yeah.
And then like you don't have to worry about putting up your tent. You don't have to worry about wild animals and weather. This is like kind of bougie. This is kind of cool. I like this.
Are the glasses thick or thin against the bears? Yeah, I'm not sure. You know, if you're going
Good
into bear
point, Stevie.
territory,
Good point.
you see the bears launching themselves through the windows. Not sure on that, but you know, maybe there's probably a good loud horn you could get to maybe keep them away.
But then where are you gonna park it after? I don't know. Maybe Greg, you have the room, but like here in Southern California, you pull up one of these things, your neighbors will kick you out of the neighborhood.
Yeah, I do have a driveway, but I don't know if that would be a good idea for me right here either. I think you'd need some place with a little bit more space for that one.
This looks way longer than that truck. Look at that.
Yeah, it's actually I'm not sure what the entire 27 feet. So it's 27 feet long. So yeah, it's a long.
Yeah, that's super long, right?
Yeah, it's a long trailer. But again, like it doesn't. In theory, you know, it wouldn't take down any more of your gas mileage or your EV charge. It weighs around 7,500 pounds, fully loaded.
This is so cool, though. I want one.
Yeah, light enough to be towed by any half-ton full-size pickup, including electric ones. So they even mentioned like the Ford Lightning or a Rivian. So even with the electric ones, you can tow this thing. So yeah, I don't know.
Can you tow it with the SUV or has it be a truck?
I'm not sure.
Because I don't think everybody has a truck.
That's true. But probably if you're in the market for something like this, you probably would. If this is what you're doing. But yeah, maybe an SUV might be able to tow it as well. The thing is, so the price, and taking a look at it here right now, so the price is going to start at around $125,000. So it's not going to be, again, not cheap. But RVs and trailers aren't cheap now either, especially ever since the pandemic. You know, people went nuts buying those to where there was a backlog for months and months and months to even get one. So the resale value would probably be all right. But yeah, it's a cool product. I don't know, you know, you'd have to be in the market for this, but if you plan on traveling around, ka-ching every time. If you plan on traveling around, you know, this could be, maybe that's something you would want to do. You know, if you're going to be like traveling around for a year or something.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Greg, I'm curious. I'm gonna have to do some research on this. I'm wondering if like you get hot water. I mean, that could be a selling point, right? Versus like does it have all the nice amenities that you would expect from an RV?
I would think so, but that is a very good question. I didn't actually
like hot shower.
Look into that. I would imagine it does. Let's see in the interior. I'll just take a look here really quick and see if they've got.
It looks cool. $500 deposit, eh?
Relaxing spa bathroom. So they must have hot water in them.
That's good.
Maybe the best shower you've ever taken while camping. Oh, so it's got surround windows. I don't know if you want the windows wide open though. I guess if you're camping and you're not around anybody else. Otherwise,
maybe they do the, you know, the one directional like tint stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. That would be a way to go. Yeah, love the L1 design. Exactly. I mean, the design is really cool. I think this is a really neat. It's a neat product. You know, whether everybody's going to be getting this, I don't know, but I imagine they'll still find a market for it. I don't think they're going to have a hard time.
It's not gonna. This is pretty cool. I'm all for this. This looks pretty cool. I mean, maybe we'll have to move the Cybertruck deposit over to this thing.
There you go.
Maybe this will actually get built.
Yeah, or tow it with the Cybertruck. So you know somebody's going to do that. But yeah, that was the one I wanted to showcase there. So just kind of thinking about the electric lifestyle or whatever it is. But look at how that's kind of changing everything up. So I think if you see more and more of those types of things, it just opens it up to do so much more too with going with an EV, because especially that you can recharge it. I think they actually showcase.
I mean, having solar panels, talk about brilliant, right? Having the solar panels right on top of that thing. You don't see RVs with that. That it's always like aftermarket or something. This is, and have that entire I mean, I would have guessed Tesla made this thing at the way it looked, right?
Well, then we'd see it in like 2042 or something by the time it came out. But with that was the other thing that they mentioned, is that you could even charge your vehicle off of it, to a certain extent. I'm sure you don't want a full charge off there, but maybe if you needed to add it up just a little bit, that's what they mentioned, that it could do that since it's generating power with those solar panels. Probably not a ton, but a few more miles.
Yeah, if my Tesla I have an SUV, right? My SUV could pull that thing. Oh wow, that would be talk about fancy then.
Yeah, that's pretty fancy.
Super fancy. But then like one day someone's gonna pull over and take that thing away from you.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, you want to be careful where you park that. So you're gonna find yourself towed off in the middle of the night. But yeah, I thought that's cool. I love seeing this kind of stuff. Just how people are inventing and changing up the way that we do normal things, but just adding that in and having it green friendly and EV and all that. So really cool. So I have that. It wouldn't be a week though if I came across a cool robot that I didn't talk about it. So I do have a robot story here for the end.
Yay.
This one has to do with actually a project that's been going on for years. So there's something called the Robo Cup. And the whole goal of the Robo Cup is that for this group that's doing this is that by somewhere in the mid 21st century, they want to field an entire soccer team of just robots that will take on a human team and beat them under FIFA rules. So they want a team of robots that's going to be good enough to play by the rules that will beat a team of humans. And this is, UCLA is one of the groups, working on this and working on robotics. School. Is that your school?
I love it. Look at it. It's walking like near Broom Walk. This is so cool. Yeah. So yeah, this is my old school. And so I'm super proud. Okay, let's just talk about the kicks. The kicks look pretty cool on this thing too.
You know what? I didn't take a close look at him. Of course, they always have to kick the robot, but yeah, I'm not sure what he's wearing there for his shoes. Maybe he's got some Kanye's on, but this is so looking at it though, just how more advanced is getting. And clearly this isn't going to be the robots that's taking on Messi or anything, but like
pulling the robot.
But looking at where it's getting, even the footwork on there and showing what it can do and just imagining, say in 30 years where we're going to be with this kind of tech. And clearly it still needs to be powered right now, but even just the running, I mean, it looks kind of human-like in the gait. Well, not there, but in some of the gait that it had. Yeah, this is what they're working on. So this is the new one that they're showing off. And it's part of that Artemis. Artemis is kind of the whole plan there, Artemis robot project. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I thought that was a pretty neat seeing how it sees the world around it, obstacle avoidance, carrying things. And just eventually that's going to be part of the RoboCup. They do have the RoboCup every year with robots in various stages playing soccer in some form or football, depending on where you're at. But the goal is by somewhere in the mid 21st century that a team of these will take on a team of humans that actually they want them to play the winner of the World Cup is what their goal is. Whoever wins the World Cup, whatever year that is, they want that team to play a team of robots and have the robots beat the best human team in the world.
Wow. This actually reminds me of the robot you showed us before, Greg, by Boston Dynamics.
Yes.
That feel.
It is. Yeah. It does kind of have that same look to it. Yeah, that's the Atlas one that does all the flips and all that stuff. But yeah, that's, interesting use case of it. And I just thinking about the RoboCop and just remembering that that's out there, that someday, that's what they want to do. Humans.
Well, Cross-Tech Spiders talking about RoboCop, like the movie. So
yeah,
very cool. Good job, UCLA. We'll have to keep a close eye on that.
RoboCup.
Not
I should enunciate a little bit better.
Cup like the like the World Cup.
Yes, RoboCop. There's probably somebody working on RoboCop as well.
Yeah, there probably is a RoboCop. I'm kind of hoping not yet. I don't think we want a RoboCop just yet, but maybe we do. Maybe
there are security droids that are already out there that you can get.
I still like I feel like I just want them to spend more time on medtech right now. I feel like they should just go all in on medtech. But this is great. I mean, that'd be cool to see that'd be cool to see how I feel like the Robo Cup like soccer team would just kill the humans because everything they shoot or every kick would be perfect, right? Because they're robots and they probably wouldn't hurt the humans too. So that would be good because they probably like kick it around humans, hopefully. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, what happens though when they collide into each other? I mean, they're going to have to put a lot of padding on those robots or else
nobody's going to want to go or with humans.
Well, I mean, if for a human, like going up and trying to check a robot,
I think is weird.
Yeah, they're gonna have to put a lot of padding on that robot. Otherwise, that's a bit of an advantage right there. I feel like
they should, to make it fair. I feel like the robot should be shorter and the humans should be taller, because otherwise, they're probably so much heavier than you, and it probably hurt really bad if you went up against a robot.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll have to see how the rules shake out when it does get to that. But yeah, that's the robot I wanted to showcase for this week. So there's always lots of other stuff though that's out there, and that's why I always appreciate everybody sending in things to me too. So please send in whatever cool or strange tech story or something you're interested in. Always send it to me on whatever platform you're watching on. Please do.
Sadiq says Turks would not like it. That's what Sadiq is saying. I
Turks would not like
always
it.
know that Sadiq is going to give us a Turkish perspective. So,
Which is great. Yeah.
yeah, which is exactly what we want to hear. So,
Love it.
very cool.
Love it. Yeah. So that's my robot for the week and what we have.
Curtis is saying that the robot had Nikes on. I noticed he had
Did it? Okay.
kicks. Yeah, not
All
the
right.
Easy kicks from Adidas. Previously with Adidas. Yeah.
All right. So Nike's already sponsoring the RoboCup team. Already locked down the sponsorship. Hope the robot doesn't have Twitter.
Very cool. That was so fun, Greg. Thanks so much for sharing that.
Yeah. And thanks, and thank you and thanks everybody for joining in, and being a part of the show. Like we said, this is just fun. It's fun being here with you and talking about these random things and just getting people's opinions and thoughts and spending a little bit of time together.
I know, I love it. So for those of you who are tuning in, we wanted to give you a quick update because this is something we're pretty excited about. So of course, we're next week we're going to try something new. We're going to come to you, I believe, Friday morning. It's going to be around 10ish Pacific. For those of you who are on the East Coast, that equates to 1 o'clock on the East Coast, 1 p.m. on the East Coast. It's going to be around there. We're going to try a new time, see how you like it. You definitely want to tune in, and then I think we're going to have lots of fun things to share that day too. So definitely put that on your calendar. And of course, I think Greg and I will still be doing different things on Wednesday. We just won't be doing In the Loop on Wednesday, right? Together, but we'll be doing our In the Loop together on Friday. So definitely stay close to us on social media. If you don't already, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you're watching us on YouTube and if you're following us on any of the social media platforms, make sure to, of course, set that alert. So if you're on LinkedIn or your Facebook or YouTube, set the alert so you'll know when we go live, because we don't want to miss you.
Yes.
We selfishly, we just don't want to miss you. So we really could use a favor and have you follow us at B. We would really appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, everything Winnie just said. That's exactly it. So thank you everybody, and for all your support and tuning in and yeah, just having fun with us.
Wonderful. Well, have a great week. And I guess Greg, we're going to see everybody on Friday.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
All right. Bye everyone.
Bye.